Okay guys, and like we did before, we have it set up over here with our visual representation. I really enjoy doing this. And again, you could do this in your game too for chamber battles, but I moved all of our hero cards over here. They're each dual wielding a weapon. And I just hope you're enjoying this. I'm really having a great time hanging out with you and playing some Dungeon Crusade with the revised combat. And I have a surprise for you because I want to let you see what an awesome crusader I am. So we're in the chamber. You're going to see the surprise. We're in the chamber, so we're declaring, okay, we're ready to reveal what champion monster is residing in this chamber. And I can tell you it's a level 1, but remember, it could be random every game of, what you saw, what could be in here. So it's a level 1. And remember, whether it's a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, these monster tokens are in direct correlation with the champion monster decks. Very easy. So we're going to draw from the top, and our heroes have encountered a massive viper. But what I did was, I want to show you my awesome crusader skills. This is a heroic difficulty. And this is the way I could, in case you didn't know, that when I designed this, kind of like the game Diablo, there's different difficulty settings, especially in like Diablo 3. So you're going to notice here, see the 3 skulls? That signifies this is heroic, and it has that blue glow to its name. The game ships with normal difficulty monsters, and their name glows in white. And then there's expert difficulty monsters, and has 2 skulls. I'm sorry, normal difficulty has 1 skull, white glow to their name. Expert difficulty has 2 skulls, and it glows green. And then finally, heroic is the hardest one. It has 3 skulls. And the health moves up, warfare values, the damage. I mean, these things can do some real damage. So now, more than ever, think about that. Rally. Would you really want to send a solo hero against a heroic massive viper? I think not. But we're going to have some fun battling this, and we'll see how we do. But look at these warfare values. I mean, these things, that's 15 for physical warfare, 2 damage. Ranged warfare, 11. And then 13, that comes in focus, there you go, 13 and 1. So this is pretty tough. And also there's a few game variants, mods you can play, where you can mix all the difficulty decks together so you don't know what your heroes will be facing. Or there's one where the monsters level up. You start out with the normal difficulty, and say you slay that one. Then you're going to introduce the expert version. You get rid of the normal. And then if you slay the expert, you bring in heroic. So the monsters level up. So a little side note, but just wanted to let you know there are 3 different difficulty decks in Dungeon Crusade. So let me figure out how to stand this card up, and let's do some battling. Okay, and we're ready for the battle. And believe it or not, our friendly feral minotaur is holding up our massive viper. So let's get on with this. I want to point a few things out for you that, remember, we talked about last night. There's a silver star here in the corner. That signifies this is a normal champion monster. It just has the origin stories I wrote for it. So no special abilities. However, if it was a gold star, it is going to have some type of special ability, like we discussed when we were talking about the feral minotaur. So we would have to process this thrashing strike first. Remember how that goes? We do if the monster has a special ability, then we would go down to, what the heroes will be doing. Lastly, this might be a surprise for you, and I'm just the nicest guy to do this. Don't be surprised if your heroes go into a chamber and they run into a dual monster chamber. Yes, all of the level 1, 2, 3, and 4 champion monster cards have these. There's 2 of them in each deck. And the skulls get kind of like more evil as they go up. But when you go in, you're not going to be fighting 1, but you're going to be fighting 2 champion monsters. So you draw 2 cards, shuffle, put them in a stack, draw 1, fight 1 champion monster, pull the other, and fight that one. So I would recommend, while you're getting acclimated to the game, pull these out and just play with, regular champion monsters, or even pull out the elite ones and just fight normal ones, and just until you get acclimated with everything. So in case you didn't know, surprise, there could be 2 monsters residing in a chamber. Okay, so let's get on with this battle, because I'm having so much fun with this, and I hope you are. So remember, with the revised combat, first thing, process any kind of special ability the monster has. This is a normal version. It's not an elite origin story. We're done. We don't do anything. Next up, do we want our heroes to drink any potions? Do we want to activate any special ability? Do we want to reach into one of their backpacks and put on, equip another weapon? No, we're just going to do this. We're going to get right into the battle. So let's get in with this revised combat, and I hope that you're enjoying this. Our Massive Viper is versed in physical warfare, ranged warfare, and mythical. We have our warfare tokens here. We're going to give them a shuffle. And we'll put them over here in a stack. First phase is physical. And it's going to be hard for me to show you all of the stuff down here because the camera's on their hero cards, but I'll, of course, let you know what's going on. But you're probably already familiar with Sir Brenna, so they're kind of like thinking now, okay, what's our strategy? What do we want to do? Well, Sir Brenna says, I excel at physical warfare. I can add a +3 to all physical warfare rolls. So I'm going to attack in phase 1. And here is phase 1 right here. So he's going to attack. And remember, he could add a +3 to those dice because he is proficient in physical warfare. So again, just picture like he runs up and the Viper's coming at him, and let's see what happens. Oh, it was so close. Look at that. 9 and 2, that's 11, of course. He has a +3 on his card. He doesn't have any kind of necklaces or armor to buff that up. So it's 14. And remember, on our Massive Viper, it's a 15. So Sir Brennis is going to take 2. Because remember, there's your warfare value, damage 2. So I'm not going to move his card, but I'm going to put something over here as a reminder. So he has 2 damage. That's it. Phase 1 is over. See how nicely this works and how quick? Phase 2. Flip it over. Ranged. This is pretty interesting because, well, I'm going to tell you, Zeke here and Palum, our rogue, and that's our wizard. They have 0 on their hero card, so they can't add anything. But Sir Brennis, as I look at his card, can add a +2 to ranged warfare. And when he was in the village, check this out. He picked up the evergreen bow. 1 damage, but look at that. He can add a +2 to ranged warfare. So he's with his comrades and he's just telling them, hey, I'm going to go attack this thing. I got this. Ranged warfare dice, right? So we can add 2 and 2, 4. And what do we have to beat? Okay, it's 11. Right over here on the champion, the Massive Viper, 11. He's pretty proficient in this. So, of course, we're going to take phase 2. I'm going to attack in this phase. So let's see how he does. Kind of runs up again, pulls his bow back, and oh yeah, that was a monster hit. Check that out. 9 and 7. So that's 16 plus what? The 2 and 2, 4. That's 20. That is a monster hit. And it does 1 damage. So we're going to take a damage token and we're going to put it on our Massive Viper. So he's got how many health left? He's got 3 left. He's got 4 health. Yeah, okay. So that's it. Phase 2 is over. Clear the dice. Hopefully you guys are liking this. See how much more quicker this is, more fast-paced, and again, rallying heroes. This is essential. So now they're getting ready for phase 3, and of course that's going to be mythical warfare. I think it's going to be Palum because check this out. She is quite proficient. Whoops. She is quite proficient in mythical warfare. That's a +3. She doesn't have anything to buff up. That's her starting weapon. Dull stiletto, 1 damage, can't add anything, but still, that +3 is very good. And on the Viper's card, that's a 13. So we're going to get this, and she's kind of rushing up with her dull stiletto. Maybe she's jumping through the air, about to plunge this dagger into it, and she hit it right between the eyes. How do you like that? That's 15 plus her 3, 18. That's another huge hit. And we're going to do 1 damage. I hope you guys are liking this. I am really enjoying myself tonight, hanging out, playing Dungeon Crusade with you. And guys, that's it. Phase 3. It's as simple as that. Remember, this is continuous. We're going to go to round 2. What do? Does the monster have any kind of combat ability that's going to continue? No, it doesn't. We go to our heroes. Do you have any special abilities? Do you have any, that you want to activate? Do you have any potions you want to quaff down? Do you have a weapon you want to equip? No to all that. Let's get back into the battle. Take our warfare tokens. Let's give them a shuffle, put them in a stack, put them right over here. We'll put them up here. First phase, and we're going to do just what we did before. And before, I know someone may ask, well, why don't you just go down off this? Because by shuffling these, it gives the monster and the heroes like an even ground. There's no one benefiting from it. So that's why we shake those. But we're going to do what we did before. We're going to take our phase 1, because this is phase 1. And Palum says, I got this again. So she's going to hopefully get lucky again. We're going to declare that as our starting, or as our attack weapon. She's going to charge up again to the massive viper. Remember, this is a heroic roll. Oh, another monster hit. 11, 6, 17, plus 3, 20. She is just laying the ponage down. So that's it, guys. Just one more. So that the battle's over. Clear. You notice how much quicker this is. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I'm having a lot of fun. Clear that. What's going to be phase 2? Ranged. Like we did before, we're going to have Sir Brennus attack with his evergreen bow. And that is a +2. And then on his card, I'm sorry, it's a +1. So this gives him a +3 to all ranged warfare dice. So he's kind of like charging up on that massive viper. And he's pulling back his bow. And, oh, there it is. There it is, 14. On the viper's card, it's just 11. He must have shot that arrow right into its eye. And it kind of just slithers away and dies. So there you go, the killing blow. That's actually, in some damage markers, you'll see it have 3. So 4 damage. And we have killed the massive viper. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you like how quick combat is now. It's just so much more thematic. It's fun, streamlined, and I'm loving this. You know what? Let's do this. Let's talk about, thank you to our Feral Minotaur for holding us up. I'm having a good time. Let's talk about the loot and gold roll, okay? Notice here that says 18 plus, and there's a treasure chest. And there's a 13 plus there with 100 gold. What you do is, now that this is dead, and actually we can reveal the quest token because it's dead. Here, we'll take him out of the dungeon. And they have found the scepter for the villagers. So that quest is complete. We'll put this over here in their inventory. But this viper might have been carrying something of value. So let's take a look here. So 18 plus, 13 plus. What this means is you're going to make one roll on a d20. If you meet or exceed these values, you get to draw a loot card and you get that much gold. See how that works? So this is like kind of the probability of a monster carrying stuff. And you'll notice like guardians are usually carrying a lot of stuff because they're bosses. But as it may, we have a fairly good chance, hopefully, to get some gold. And you guys can discuss at home who's going to make the loot and gold roll. You know how I play? Whoever lands the killing blow, they get to make the loot and gold roll and distribute it as they see fit. Let me grab my D20. Okay, got the D20. So again, you just make, it's very simple stuff. So we need to exceed 18 basically to get some stuff. Let's see. What, that's a terrible roll. And no. It was a 5. But say it was like 18 or higher, we would get to draw from the loot deck and we would get 100 gold. And guys, that is the new revised combat system for fighting a champion monster. I hope that you enjoyed that. We're going to go into the dungeon and we are going to fight Banevik, and we'll show you that. So hold on while I get everything set up. Okay, we are about to go into the dungeon for our heroes to fight Banevik. But I got to say again, man, that was so much fun with the champion monsters. And I'm just having a great time. So I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I hope you see how the revised combat works. Very, very simple. I just want to touch on a few things. Our heroes here who are going to be fighting Banevik. One thing I want to tell you about that you may not know about, there's 193 pieces of loot in Dungeon Crusade. I wrote this huge story for Dungeon Crusade, and there's all these different characters. So there's this really unique loot called, I call it Fabled gear. And it's gear that belonged to some of the characters in Dungeon Crusade. So what we're looking at here, this is Mallory's golden bow. And Mallory is the daughter, 8-year-old daughter to Emperor Sylvian. So the flavor text, this was given to Mallory on her 13th birthday. But Fabled gear it's got a high gold cost, okay? So if you see this in the blacksmith shop, it's going to cost you, your heroes, a pretty penny. Or of course you could find it on a monster drop or in a treasure chest. But what's interesting about Fabled gear is, look at these warfare values, and this is a common one. So this is the lowest one. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, and then underworld artifacts. We'll save that for another day. But for a level 1, this can do 2 damage, but you can add +3 to ranged warfare rolls and +3 to spiritual. So it's sometimes a really, it can be really great for your hero to spend the extra gold and get a piece of Fabled gear. And I can tell you, one of the most powerful weapons in the game, it's a legendary, and it's called Emperor Sylvian's Battle Sword. That thing does something like 4 or 5 damage, and there's 4 warfare types, and all of them are like jacked up to +5. So, and I think it's like 2,000 gold. But if you have that, you can really lay the ponage down. So I just wanted to touch on that and let you guys know, since we're doing combat, be on the lookout for Fabled gear. And there's 10 unique pieces of Fabled gear in the game. And so Maheliak, our barbarian, he is rocking that with his primordial axe, his starting weapon. Remember, he's versed in chaos warfare and physical, middle of the road with ranged warfare, but he's got Mallory's golden bow that's going to buff that up to +3 and +3 to spiritual warfare. Okay, so let's get in with these heroes. Let's fight Banevik. And remember, we have Enwyn here, our archer hero, my favorite hero in the game. Thank you, Marcel. Longshot, we're going to activate that. We'll show you how special abilities work. So I think we're going to even have a better time fighting Banevik. Okay, let's get down into the dungeon. Okay, now it's going to be hard to pull like hero cards because they're all the way like back here. So I'll call out everything so we can just keep it on the action here. Now remember, Maheliak has initiative token 4. And let's take a look at Banevik's monster card. There's Banevik here, and he's level 1. Just know all level 1 guardians have the origin stories I wrote for them. And they can level up to level 4. So every time they level up, I created new special abilities at level 2, level 3, level 4. So that will always change for you. And remember, since we're talking, remember I said about the loot and gold roll? Take a look at Banevik. That comes into focus. So you actually get to make 2. And you can net a lot of, possibly a few pieces of loot and 600 gold from slaying a guardian. Looking at Banevik's monster card, so I try to get, there we go. He is versed in physical warfare, mythical warfare, and chaos. So Maheliak, of course, is, if you remember from talking about him, he is very versed in chaos warfare and physical. So this is the hero we definitely want to send after him. So he has initiative token 4. So what we're going to do is I'm going to roll for movement. He has a base movement of 2 plus the roll of a d6. So let me get my d6 here, and we're going to have him charge up and attack Banevik. And again, we're going to show you the revised combat. So that's great. 6 and 2 is 8. And remember, in Dungeon Crusade, there's no diagonal movement, but you can attack diagonally. So he has to move orthogonally. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm going to even move him more. 5, 6. So we're going to put him there. So he's ready to attack. Now, just like before, there's no difference with this. Do we want him to rally another hero to attack him, to help with this attack? And you know what? I think we're going to do that because while he excels at, okay, I can give his hero card to show you. So of course he excels at chaos, warfare, and physical. So we already know we're going to attack in those two phases, and there's more. We're probably going to land some damage on him, but he's kind of middle of the road with mythical. Okay, so looking at our heroes over here, and I'll try to show you. Well, N1 has a -3. Okay, so we don't want her to attack because she is not proficient in that. So we don't want her in this. However, Faith, our cleric, she is very proficient. Well, not very, but sort of good. +1 to mythical. We want to rally her. So what we're going to do is, of course, flip over initiative token 4. Mahaliak is going to call out to Faith to join the fray. Come over here to Mahaliak's card. We're going to pay the 1 essence for the rally call. So he's calling out to her to come on over and let's whomp on Banevic. Base movement of 2 plus a roll of d6. Okay, 3 in, so that's 5. 1, 2, 3. Now let me explain something there was a misconception. Notice how Banevic is kind of over into this square. That's a legal attack. So she's just kind of remember, you can attack diagonally. So she's going to attack. She can stay right there. She could, of course, move right here. But the rule is if the cardboard miniature is leaning over into a square, that's a legal attack. All right, so let's do our new revised combat system with Mahaliak and Faith. We're going to get our tokens here. Remember, there's that. Now remember, if there was any kind of special ability that Banevic would have, that would activate. Do our heroes want to use any potions? They want to hurry up and equip a weapon, anything like that? No, we're going to just do it right. We're going to go right into the battle. Here's the warfare tokens. Give them a quick shuffle. And we'll stack these right here. Okay, physical warfare is first. Mahaliak will attack with his primordial axe. Now, it doesn't give any buffs to physical warfare, but let me get the battle tokens here, so just so you can see. And hopefully you're enjoying all this. So he's attacking with that. But if we look at his hero card, and again, I'm sorry I'm taking time, but I want to explain all this for you. That's a +2. He can add a +2 to this. Banevic on his card under physical warfare, what is that, a 12 and a 2. So Mahaliak has to hit with a 12 or higher to hit, and I feel very confident he's going to do this. So he's kind of lunging at Banevic right now with his primordial axe, and heck yeah, look at that, 15 plus 2, 17. He puts 2 damage on Banevic. Now, something about when you're fighting minions or guardians in the dungeon, it's not continuous. So after this attack, he is done with his initial attack, even though it's going on within these 3 phases. This is over. Chamber battles are continuous. Dungeon combat, in the hallways and corridors, it's just this one-off thing, and then that's the end of the churn. So, but we still have to go into phase 2, right? Clear the dice, clear the warfare token, flip it over. Next phase. Okay, mythical. Like we discussed, we're going to have Faith attack, and she is. You know what? I have to correct myself because she is equipped. Check this out. At the blacksmith shop, she bought this rusty dagger. It's a common 1 damage, but check that out. +2 to mythical warfare, and then of course her +2 to mythical warfare. So that's +4. She is going to do very good with this. So this is what I mean about speccing out your heroes to make them more proficient. So let's get this. I'm sorry, that was a 1. I couldn't read it through the camera, but still, that's +1, +2, that's +3. I feel like she's going to do excellent with this. So she will attack in phase 2, right? Because this is phase 2, we just did phase 1. I put that on the rusty dagger, and she's going to lunge at him with this dagger, and 6, 5, and then plus that 2 and 1, that's, let's see, 11, that's 14. Let's look at Bainvik's card. And he has a 10. Lands damage on him. I'm sorry I don't have my damage markers. Oh, I actually do. Here we go. So we have put 2 damage on Bainvik. But remember, we still have phase 3. Again, I hope that you guys have known Dungeon Crusade, are liking the revised combat. Hopefully, you know, if you've played it, you can see, look how much more brisk this is, and just streamlined, and just more fun and thematic. Chaos. Well, you already know what's going to happen. We're going to take Maheliac, Primordial Axe. We're going to attack in phase 3 with the Primordial Axe. And remember, he is extremely proficient in Chaos Warfare. +3 to this. Let's see what he has to meet or exceed. 14, that's kind of high. Let's see how he does. So, Maheliac kind of draws back with his axe with a mighty swing, and oh my god. He just did an epic fumble. I was so ready for that to say like a 12 and a 6. Maheliac, what are you doing? You were on camera. You could have landed damage. Okay, so he did take damage. That was an epic fumble. So what does that say there too? I'm glad that came up so you could see. So, of course, he didn't meet or exceed that. Maheliac's going to take 2 damage for that. And I'm going to mark it right now on his hero track. Okay, guys, so look, that's it. That is over. Okay, so Maheliac has taken his turn, and Faith has taken her turn, because, of course, she had initiative token 5. So that is over. That's exactly how the revised combat works with, you know, the new system now. And I hope that you enjoyed that, but we're not over yet. We're still not over. Enwin has initiative token 6. And she is not someone who wants to tangle with Bainvik. So here's what we're going to do. Let's have some fun with a special ability. Remember, she has long shot. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to move into position with her, and we're going to launch that because, well, she could actually launch it now because she does have line of sight. Let me read the card so you know what's going on here. Again, I hope you're enjoying all this. This may be activated within the archer's turn. When activated, target a monster within 4 spaces and line of sight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got line of sight, no problem. And then roll 1d6 and consult the chart below. So let me show you. So on a 1 or 2, she's going to miss. 3 or 4, she's going to do 1 damage. So we can just leave her there. Well, you know what? Here, let's just roll for movement. She has a base movement of 3, 6, so we'll just go 1, 2. How about that? So she has a line going right there. So here's how we can, let's take a look at this special ability card since we're discussing all this. When heroes kill monsters or complete quests, they're going to get life force. Think of life force as XP. So when she goes to the academy in the village, she's going to have to spend 2 life force to gain the special ability long shot. Okay, she already did that. It's going to take 2 essence to activate. Remember our essence bar? We'll activate that. And then over here, this tells you that this must be channeled after use. Red arrow means you turn it upside down. At upkeep phase, you just unchannel it, turn it back. It's as simple as that. These symbols here, this says you cannot use this in a chamber battle, but you can use it. This is like a dungeon hallway. You can use that in the dungeon. So we know our chart here. Let me activate that. We're going to go down here and spend the 2 essence, and she's ready. So she's kind of lining up a shot to possibly put, oh, that came out of focus. Sorry about that. So she's lining up the shot and 5, perfect. She does another damage to Bainvik with her bow, with long shot. And there you go. I think that was an awesome battle, especially showing you the revised combat. And before we pull the camera back and wrap this up, let me explain something. Well, we can just leave that there. When it is the monster's turn, that Bainvik is going to attack. And this will take a minute to explain, but I think that we should just do this now. Actually, let me pull the camera back and we'll wrap up what happens when a monster attacks and the target priority box. I think that'd be a good way to end, okay? Give me 1 sec.